Joke, Quote, and Fact Corner. Using the target vocabulary hideous, aesthetic, and ambiguous. Welcome to Joke, Quote, and Fact Corner. In these lectures, as you may have guessed, we're going to look at a joke, a quote, and a fact. Now we're going to focus on 3 of the 5 target words in these lectures. This is so that you can start to notice these new words in different contexts. So when you're reading, when you're listening to people speak in English, you can start to pick up these new words. Let's start with the joke. The joke is going to appear in 2 parts, and you can read along with me if you like. Remember to look out for one of the target words. Let's look at the joke now. A couple who had 2 beautiful daughters decided to try one last time for the son they always wanted. Soon, the wife became pregnant and was happy to deliver a baby boy. The father raced to the hospital to see his new son, but was horrified to find an incredibly ugly baby. He said to his wife, "I cannot possibly be the father of that hideous child. Look at the 2 beautiful daughters I fathered." His wife blushed, and the husband became suspicious. "Have you been with another man?" he said. His wife admitted, "Not this time." The wife is in big trouble. So the man saw that his child was hideous looking. His newborn son wasn't very handsome. So he was shocked. He said, "How can this be? My 2 daughters are absolutely beautiful. How can I have an ugly looking son?" So he asked the wife, "Have you been with another man?" And she said, "Not this time," which means the 2 daughters that the father thought were his were in fact the daughters of another man. So the wife is in big trouble now, I think. Now let's move on to the fact. The Incas believed gold represented their sun god and called the precious metal tears of the sun. Because gold was not yet used as money, the Incas' love of gold was purely aesthetic and religious. This is quite an interesting fact. The Incas didn't use gold as money. They didn't think it was precious in that sense. They thought it was precious purely for its aesthetic value. They just thought it looks beautiful. They thought it represented their sun god. So they called it tears of the sun. So their love of gold was purely aesthetic and religious. Now let's look at the quote. I look for ambiguity when I'm writing because life is ambiguous. Keith Richard of the Rolling Stones. Keith Richard is a member of the famous rock band the Rolling Stones. And when he's writing his lyrics, he likes to be ambiguous. So he likes his lyrics to have more than one possible meaning, because he says that life is ambiguous. So he wants his lyrics to reflect this. He doesn't want his lyrics to be easy and simple to understand. He wants to make people think and come at it from different angles. So there are lots of different meanings in his writing. So that's the joke, quote, and fact. Now it's time to move on to the next section. Before you do that though, make sure you've downloaded all the extra resources, the MP3s and the PDFs. Listen to the MP3s as much as you can so that you can master these 5 words. See you in the next section.